We also have some other breaking news to share with you guys here today, and that is that the U.S. women's national team has revealed their roster for the SheBelieves Cup. Let's take a look at the roster. Here are the goalkeepers: Jane Campbell, Casey Murphy, and Alyssa Nair. They will be the three goalies on the roster. And here are the defenders. I think we have to look here at Eva Gaetino. She is a new call-up for this U.S. women's national team. Emily Fox is back. Casey Kruger as well. Crystal Dunn, we know she was going to be on this roster. Well, that is good to see. Let's move over to the midfielders, and we see another new call-up, Lily Johannes. She is called up for the first time. She plays her club football over at Ajax. Emily Sonnet, Corbin Albert, Sam Coffey, Lindsay Horan also rounding out the midfielders. And the forwards, Catarina Macario, she is back with the U.S. women's national team. Alex Morgan will be a part of this squad. Obviously, Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith. And I love to see Mallory Swanson make her comeback with this team. And now we're going to bring in to break it all down for us, Sandra Herrera. Sandra, thanks so much for joining us. Just real quick, right off the top, what are your initial reactions to this roster reveal?
It's giving off big Emma Hayes era vibes. I love it. I'm here for it. I love that Catarina Macario and Mallory Swanson are getting calls back into this camp after lengthy absences due to injuries. And I really love that evaluation is still a priority for the coaching staff and kind of calling in new names and new faces still with such a short lead up to the Olympics for evaluations and players like Eva Gaetino and Lily Johannes as well. So lots of great storylines sprinkled throughout this 23-player roster.
Sandra, I want to talk about one storyline that caught my eye instantaneously. Alex Morgan, you and I were hyped about her performance at the W Gold Cup. What do you think she adds to this group?
Yeah, I think with such a short buildup to the Olympics, how that timeline keeps getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. And the idea of getting newer players who have not been at the senior national team level just yet, I think we still know the importance and value of veteran presence and leadership on a team. I think that Gold Cup was a really good example of that. You and I chatting about really good performances from Morgan, from Nair, players who understand that it sometimes takes a little bit extra when you find yourselves under those brighter lights. So along with that experience, form as well. I think Morgan is in a place right now where she's doing it both for club and country. And that's something you want out of your most iconic 9 on the team heading up to a major tournament.
All right, so we go to the other end of the spectrum. Obviously, Alex Morgan has been there, done that with this squad. For the fans that don't know about these new call-ups, Eva Gaetino and Lily Johannes, can you explain to us what we can expect to see from these two players?
Well, I think first a lot of folks are going to hope that maybe they'll get some minutes. I think it's interesting that they're getting called into the SheBelieves Cup tournament because they tweaked it a little bit. It's not going to be the typical kind of 6-game round robin style format type of competition. They simplified it a little bit to kind of fit into this international window. It's going to be a pair of semifinal games and then a final and third place match. So we'll see, hopefully, if these players actually do get some minutes. I would hope that if they get called into a tournament like this, that maybe there are plans and conversations that have been in place to sort of kind of give them a role moving forward. But I think for Johannes, I think there's a lot of excitement around this player, the 16-year-old midfielder, especially with how she's been performing with Ajax, not just at the club level, but during Champions League as well. I think we've seen this young player go toe-to-toe with some of the world's best, kind of making even some veteran players kind of look foolish. And she's a ball hog. I love that she is able to kind of control that, kind of break lines when she's able to. And then for Gaetino, a lot of defenders as well in this core that she's going to have to get acclimated with pretty quickly. But she's coming off of a wonderful Champions League debut as well. Was huge in their quarterfinal, provided the opening goal, and ultimately helped them secure that win.
One player that I want to talk about, and there's a feel-good story surrounding it, the return of Mallory Swanson. A year ago, she was one of those players that we were looking to ahead of the Women's World Cup, thinking, okay, she could be the difference maker, gets injured, and now she's back. How important is it for this group to have her back in the mix and back in the team?
I think it's massive. We love a story arc, right? And It's almost a year ago where we saw Mallory Swanson unfortunately sustain that torn patellar injury against Ireland during a pair of April friendlies. And if she gets time during this SheBelieves Cup, it'll mark a year since her absence. But this is a player at one point in time in the build-up to the World Cup. Coaching staff was vocal about the fact that she, alongside Sophia Smith, were players that team and their style and their system were going to be built around. And then it really shook things up when she left the pitch with the injury. And I think what we know now in hindsight with the World Cup performance, I think you take a look at how that team struggled during that tournament to kind of open things up, play a little bit more freely and with fluidity and fun, honestly. So the fact that she is back in the mix, coming off of some pretty good performances with her club team in Chicago Red Stars. She's had 2 starts, has gone 80 plus minutes in each one. Her head coach, Lauren Donaldson, even saying that he has felt that maybe she would need some time to get going. And he's been impressed that she's been able to do what she's been doing over these last 2 games. So I think she's in a good spot right now, and a player that I think they're going to look at and possibly get minutes in this tournament.